So my favorite budget IEM is getting an upgrade. Maybe. Hello and thank you for clicking on this video. I'll be sharing my experience on the Simgot EA500LM. This is supposedly an upgrade to one of my favorite budget IEMs from Simgot, the EA500. So let's see what this does. Will it be a different flavor? Will it be an upgrade? Before we explore deeper, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Linso for providing this unit in exchange for my honest feedback. However, all thoughts and opinions are always my own. If you could help me hit that like and subscribe button, that will help the channel a lot and I truly appreciate it. Now, let's talk unboxing. So you get pretty much the same thing as the EA500. Opening the box, you'll be greeted with the IEMs. There's this massive box where it stores this small pouch of ear tips. On the other box, you have this standard carrying case, which is pretty generic. And inside that stores two additional tuning nozzles, which we'll talk about more later on how it affects the sound, if any. And also some rings for identification, I guess. The cable is slightly different with this triple weave design instead of two, having a blend of black and gold cables instead of all white on the original EA500. And the 3.5mm termination is straight instead of on an angle for the original version. It's an okay cable, it does the job, it's light, it's there. The design of the IEMs themselves are quite similar as well, apart from the LM logo. On certain angles, it looks like the EA500LM has a darker coat, but at the end of the day, they're both essentially mini mirrors. Highly reflective and a huge fingerprint magnet. So if you didn't like that from the original EA500, there's no escaping this one. You've got little vents at the same position, just the name EA500LM on the shell, and overall, if you like the design of the EA500, then it remains the same for the EA500LM. For fit and comfort, since they're pretty much the exact same shape, if you've tried the EA500 and found it comfortable, it'll be the same experience, and even if you haven't, for my ears personally, I can wear this for hours no problem, and it fits snug in there without applying any undue pressure. So the tuning nozzle have different levels of dampening in there which will affect how it sounds, so let's get to the most important bit then. How does this sound? And instead of breaking it down again, I'll simply go straight to comparing it with the EA500, as I've already broken down the sound of the EA500 in a dedicated video, which I'll leave links in the description down below, but essentially they sound quite similar to one another. This is with testing with the silver nozzles on the EA500 and the gold nozzle on the EA500LM. The only difference, though minor, is within the sub bass. The EA500 has a very clean, rounded bass attack, while there's a bit more rumble coming in from the EA500LM, thus giving a bit more texture to the bass sound, with the rumble accompanying your tracks as well. Having said that, the EA500 sounds a touch clearer due to having less of that lower frequencies coming through, but there's more sounds coming through in the background in the EA500LM compared to the EA500. It's very minor in terms of sound difference. They are both still bright sounding presentations, and everything happening in the mid-range is almost the same as one another. Changing it to the silver nozzle with the black rings on the EA500LM from the gold nozzles, the sound opens up a bit more and the sound takes a small step closer to you, but now we're leaning towards an area where it might be a little too energetic for treble sensitive people, so it's a trade-off for bringing you a touch more clarity and openness to the sound presentation. But then I can imagine this nozzle being a little bit too harsh for some, which was surprising as I thought more dampening foam would smoothen the attack, but that wasn't the case for me. On the other note, with the silver nozzle with the red rings, it's very similar to the gold nozzle, so there's not much for me to talk about here. Maybe there are subtle differences, but you'd have to focus really hard to notice them. If I had to choose, I'd still stick with either the gold or the silver nozzle with the red rings, as they have the best balance in terms of overall sound presentation. So to sum it all up, I put the EA500 on the top of my list as my budget IEM option below $100. And now that the EA500LM is out, I'm putting this IEM over the EA500. While the differences are very minor, as someone who wanted a little bit more coming in from the deep end in their music, and the EA500LM brings it to the table, it is definitely something that I personally enjoy, and it brought what I felt was missing from the EA500. However, I'm curious to know your thoughts. Is the EA500LM the one for you, or do you prefer any other budget IEM at this price range? Comment below, let me know, and with that all said, thank you all very much for watching. Thank you to Linso for this opportunity, and until the next experience, take care and happy listening.